So, am I a bit salty that Semiramis ended up losing in the polls? Well, kind of. I'm more or less just surprised that Kojiro of all people won, not King Hassan, who's like this grand assassin and is a really big deal in Fate, not Jack, who's the cute, adorable little lolly, and I mean, I didn't really think regular Hassan had any chance to begin with, but Kojiro of all people was the one to win the poll. And it's not that I mind covering Kojiro, he's heavily slept on, it's just the fact that Kojiro won just baffles me. I still didn't know that he had this large fan base, or maybe it was just you guys trying to spite me, but whatever. We're going to be going and covering Kojiro. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into this. Instead of just jumping into how powerful Kojiro would be in a versus algorithm, I do want to take the time to talk about where he compares to the other servants in Fate Stay Night, just so you guys get a better grasp of how powerful Kojiro is really, and don't just think he's some fodder that got one shot by Artoria. So let's talk about Kojiro versus Artoria, and I know a lot of people are going to bring up the fact that Artoria one-shot Kojiro in their second fight, but you'd be forgetting that Artoria actually bent Kojiro's sword in their first fight, so he wasn't able to use Swallow Reversal properly in their second fight, hence why Artoria was able to dodge it in the first place. You'd also be forgetting the fact that Kojiro was utterly dominating Artoria in their first battle, and while that Artoria was weaker because she had Emiya as her master, and Emiya is pretty incompetent as a Magus, that same Artoria was still capable of dominating Hercules, fighting off Ku, and while damaged from that same battle with Ku, fighting off Emiya. So Kojiro being able to dominate this Artoria is still an impressive feat nonetheless. So, I don't have too much to say on Archer versus Kojiro because we've already seen them fight in Unlimited Blade Works and they were pretty even with one another, and we don't know exactly what happened during their fight, but we know that both of them came back with no sustainable injuries, so I guess neither of them pulled out their trump cards, and it's kind of debatable on who would win if they did pull out their trump cards, because if Kojiro goes for Swallow Reversal first, he's probably going to kill Emiya. But if Emiya goes for Unlimited Blade Works first, he's probably going to kill Kojiro, so I guess that's really what it comes down to. I am aware that in Fate Stay Night, Ku says that he does not want to fight Kojiro based on how skilled Kojiro is with the sword, and he doesn't really want to go up against Swallow Reversal, but you'll see people try to use this to say that Ku would outright lose to Kojiro, which that could not be any further from the truth. First of all, Ku doesn't even need to go up and engage Kojiro in combat. He could just gay bulk him from afar, either with the piercing version as we saw him do with Artoria, where he was like flinging her around all over the place, or he could just throw it at Kojiro, which he's really not going to be able to do anything to defend against that. There's also the fact that Ku just scales directly above Kojiro, since Kojiro is more relative to Emiya, and we saw in the fight between Ku and Emiya that Ku is vastly above Emiya. He was kind of throwing him around that entire fight, so I would really give it to Ku in this case. Caster versus Kojiro is a pretty interesting debate to have because while Emiya, who does scale to Kojiro, was able to pretty easily take out Medea, he has a better kit to taking on Medea than Kojiro does. Emiya has magic resistance of at least rank D, whereas Kojiro does not have any innate resistance to magic. Emiya has the ability to boomerang his swords around at Medea when she has him trapped in that little space bubble that, he's not able to move in. Kojiro doesn't have any resistances for that or any way to escape that. So Medea's magic is going to be a lot more effective on Kojiro than it was against Emiya, not also to mention that she has Rule Breaker, which if she does hit him with that, it's pretty much going to be GG. However, you can argue that Kojiro does have the superior skill. If he can force it to be a CQC type confrontation, he's going to be able to take out Medea. Also, he has superior agility because he has A+, so you might be able to argue that he could speed blitz Caster and take her out. Now, if you've only seen Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, you're probably going to be surprised when I say that Medusa would absolutely demolish Kojiro. If you have not seen Heaven's Feel, you would not be aware of the fact that Medusa is actually capable of going toe-to-toe with Saber Alter, who, unlike the Saber that Kojiro fought, is at full power and is actually stronger than the regular Saber, and Medusa again is capable of going toe-to-toe with this version of Saber. There's also the fact that Kojiro does not have magic resistance of at least rank C, meaning that Medusa could petrify him whenever she wants. I feel like this is a very cut and dry case. I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. Kojiro versus Hassan is very much like Kojiro versus Medea. It kind of just depends on who is willing to go all out first. If Kojiro can just rush Hassan and just force him into a CQC encounter, he will kill Hassan. However, if he does not do that and he kind of just lacks around, Hassan is going to crush his heart, and that is going to kill Kojiro. We've seen that injuries like that are enough to put him down. So, allegedly, Kojiro has fought off Hercules at some point in Fate Stay Night. I have not been able to find the scan myself, but assuming that he was able to fight off Hercules, it doesn't really change what the end result is going to be, and that is basically that Kojiro will be able to kill Hercules a couple of times, but since Hercules gets more resistant after each death, Kojiro's not going to have any new ways to kill Hercules, thus he's eventually going to fall to the big, brooding Hercman. Now, as far as how powerful this would make Kojiro in a versus algorithm, this might be a bit anticlimactic, but most servants in Fate Stay Night do scale to Hercules' feat of being able to destroy a mountain with just the swing of his little club, so as anticlimactic as it might be, Kojiro comes out to being mountain level. The speed might also be a bit anticlimactic, as I'm just going to link a speed calc done for Iskandar in the description. Iskandar only has a rank of D agility, whereas Kojiro has A+ agility, and he was able to dodge Artori's Excalibur, which is confirmed to shoot a beam of light at people, and in the way that he dodged it, someone calced it, and it came out to being 59 times the speed of light. So let's go ahead and talk about Kojiro's skills. He has Presence Concealment D, which is kind of bad, but he more than makes up for it by having Transparency B+, which gives him a better Presence Concealment because he's a really good martial artist or whatever, but it also gives him the added benefit of being immune to mental debuff, so charm, stun, stuff like that. He is immune to that stuff. Then he has Harmony, which pretty much means that you are not ever going to be able to adapt to his fighting style. Even Saber, who has an instinct of A+, could not adapt or perceive Kojiro's attack. Then finally he has Mind's Eye Fake A, which allows him to have this danger sense, or an ability to sense incoming danger. It's been described as somewhat of a sixth sense. Then there's the reason why Kojiro is so feared among the other servants, and that is his quote noble phantasm swallow reversal. It's not really a noble phantasm because he's like a wraith and not actually a servant, but whatever, for the sake of this video we will refer to it as a noble phantasm. It has been described as an undodgeable technique, although in a different light than Gay Bolg, because while Gay Bolg does reverse causality in order to pierce your heart, swallow reversal ignores the concepts of time and space in order to create a multi-dimensional fracture in order to make sure that it always cuts its target. The only instance I believe that we've ever seen it miss is against Saber in his second fight, where the only reason it missed is because Kojiro was unable to perform the technique properly since his sword was bent. But that's all that I have for you guys. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you guys can tell, I've put a lot more effort into these videos with the new software that I have, so I hope y'all appreciate all this new effort that's going into these videos. The next Fate poll will be for casters. Your options will be Solomon from Fate Grand Order, Merlin from Fate Grand Order, or really just the entire Fate series in general, Tamamo no Mai from Fate Extra and Fate Extella, Fate Extra CCC, all that good stuff. Then Medea from Fate Stay Night, and William Shakespeare from Fate Apocrypha. Vote wisely. As far as what my next video is going to be, I'm not really sure on who I want to cover, so just kind of wait to be surprised. But with all that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace. Late, guys.